Good morning. It is Tuesday, December 15th. Welcome to The Street Live. I'm Catherine Ross, and I am joined by Jim Cramer. Jim, I want to start by talking about the markets. Now, normally I ask you what you're watching, but interestingly enough, this morning you teased on CNBC Wall Street Bets, which is a Reddit thread, and a subreddit, I should say. I want to ask you, why are you paying such close attention to Wall Street Bets right now?
Okay, that's a great question. What I'm trying to do is not necessarily make a judgment that Wall Street Bets is good or bad. Making a judgment is what people look. They look at Seeking Alpha. They look at what Portnoy has to say. They look at Wall Street Bets. I want to be conscious of what they look at. For instance, there was a piece last week, I believe it was a Motley Fool, that was about lemonade. And the stock went up $40. Now, should it go up $40? That is not the point that I'm looking at. If I see Palantir going up, I have to know why it's going up from 10. Well, there is a section of Wall Street Bets that really likes Palantir. And again, I pass no judgments. If you pass judgments, then you end up making a decision not to look at what people are looking at. Now, I am a person who is older but thinks young. And when I look at the people who are doing things on Robinhood or doing things on E-Trade with Morgan Stanley, what I say to myself is, do not be a snob. If they're running GME, then do some work on GME. Make sure that you know GME. If they're running Palantir, make sure you know Palantir. Someone might just say, listen, Jim, they're running it, so therefore you shouldn't look at it. Or someone else might just say, Jim, it's Reddit. Who cares? Reddit, ask me anything. And what I am, what you can ask me everything. What I think is what matters here is that I want to know what drives the stock. And so therefore I need to watch Wall Street Bets. I don't want to. I don't want to watch a journal. I don't watch the Times. I want to just know. But you know what? It doesn't work like that. It's called homework. And I've added Wall Street Bets to my list of homework. Again, that doesn't mean that I'm saying, and therefore they're definitive. It does mean that I need to know what they're saying. And you could say, well, Jim, that's ridiculous. Or you could say it's a crime, whatever. I say, who cares? If they're moving stocks, I want to know what they're saying. So there we go. Wall Street Bets, I'm looking at you.
Well, and I'm looking at them right now. One poster actually mentioned Snowflake. So I want to use this as an opportunity to discuss it because it is down 16% in the past 5 days. Jim, are you worried about the lockup expiration here?
Well,
how should Wall Street Bets be approaching this trade?
It's 11 million shares. It's employees. It's long delayed. They need, they finally get some money. 11 million shares should not have knocked it down. I think the world is Snowflake. I think it's a very good company. Is the market cap too big? I don't know. Over the long term, it's not too big. It has got the holy grail of allowing people to not have to be serious code people from great schools. You can be able to handle the warehouse silos. And there's a lot of research about it. And there's a really good, basically, Snowflake for Dummies. It's about 70 pages. It's on the website. It must be read. And if you're going to comment on Snowflake, now I come back and say, all right, so 11 million shares knocked that down. Well, that's just fear. People don't understand. I do feel that these deals have come too high. I've said that. I did two pieces on Mad Money about how the syndicate desk should have more flexibility and the SEC doesn't let them. I could go back and do that a third, but that's kind of, I think, overkill. But Snowflake down 16 at one point today, 16 points. And then I announced that it wasn't only 11 million shares, and now it's only down 3. So I managed to be able to at least put some common sense in people's heads. It's $92 billion company. Is that right? Again, the market decides what's right. But I do think that they have a fantastic product. And if it's $92 billion, that's certainly reasonable in a market where Tesla is worth what? And Tesla's, added to the S&P, very important Tesla. Tesla is $610 billion. Should Snowflake be $90 billion? I have no problem with that. Frank Slootman is a great business person. The business plan of Snowflake is really aggressive and terrific. It comes under, it's something that supplies a lot of ability to be able to analyze data that comes in well underneath pretty much what everybody else does. So who's not going to take it? They have more business they can handle. That's very positive. I think Tesla has more business they can handle too. When you have more business than you can handle, that's a high quality product. And that's what's leading that stock to go higher.
Now, there's one stock that I think many investors out there are watching today, and that's the Food and Drug Administration saying that Moderna's vaccine candidate has given them enough information that they actually feel comfortable authorizing the emergency use authorization, which actually reportedly could come at the end of this week. Now, Jim, you've spoken a lot about a vaccine glut. So as we begin to see the U.S. prepare to do a mass rollout of vaccines, do you expect to see more orders placed for Moderna and Pfizer's
Huge.
candidate while we wait for J&J?
I think huge. I think that Moderna, I mean, if I could get that one, I'd take it. I'm trying to get the Pfizer from my doctors, but I've already gotten the text which says you're not going to get it, Jim, right now. I'm patient, but I will take it. I cannot wait to take it. I think it's going to give you a whole new world, a whole new perspective. Obviously, it's a foot race against the actual illness. In Summit, where I live, there's a lot of illness. I don't do anything. I don't go out. I don't go anywhere. I think that with a vaccine, I'd feel emboldened. I do think that when I look at what's going on, I say we don't know how much Moderna can really produce. Now, I have a van tour on tonight, and they're involved with making vaccines. They provide materials for vaccines, and they did say that they felt that the numbers that you're hearing from Moderna and Pfizer are aggressive, that they may not be able to produce all that they're saying. And remember, you need to have 2 shots, okay? So it's not one. But Moderna says, listen, even with one, you get some immunity. So I'm betting that J&J will come for approval. And when they do, I think that they have a huge number of vaccines ready because they, like these other guys, absolutely see that you can get approval. I don't know exactly what the definitive number of percent J&J has. They have not told anyone. It's top secret. But I feel that we are headed into an era where they just can pump these things out. And when they pump them out, everyone's going to take them. Oh, by the way, those who don't take them, you're going to be fine because you're going to get it and I don't have to worry about you because you go get it. You can get immune that way. There are 2 ways to get immune. There's the illness way and there's the vaccine way. And I prefer the vaccine way.
Jim, while we do have positive news about vaccines, we still don't have stimulus. So what do you expect to hear from the Fed?
Well, I mean, I know the Fed deeply believes that we absolutely have to have stimulus because the Fed is got a heart and recognizes that unemployment benefits go away, recognizes that the eviction notes are going to go out and they're going to be thick. I mean, I know I've got tenants and I'm sitting here thinking, I want to be a good person, but you haven't been paid in a long time. I want to be good. I think that there is a belief that somehow these restaurateurs are going to be able to handle, get through to the vaccine. Well, that's crazy. I mean, I'm the only one who even thinks it'll be a vaccine glut. I also think, by the way, that one of the new things that I'm trying to push. I spent a lot of time trying to push things that I think would make it so that the pandemic's not that bad. Is we need to have a daily, like at home, kind of like pregnancy test. It is available. It's available in other countries. We have a system in this country that seems to be discouraging it. I have Dr. Mina on later this week, Mina. He is, I think, the foremost person in this country on epidemiology and the vaccine, epidemiology and the illness. And he has got some very sophisticated analysis about why we can immediately, almost 99%, find out whether we have it before it's infectious. And that's the key thing. There is this window where you have it, but it's not infectious. People didn't know that. That was something that we just discovered. And that's what you want to catch. And I think that if we catch that and we do the vaccine, then we are going to put this thing down. And you wear a mask, social distance being more important than masking, but it's very difficult to social distance in a restaurant, very difficult to social distance, and very difficult to have a mask on when you're in a restaurant and you're eating. We avoid indoor situations if we can. Try to be outdoors. It's going to be a problem when it snows. And then you just say, okay, look, I'm going to test every day before I go to work, before I go to school. And then even if it isn't perfect, it is what I can get away with in order to be able to make it so the world changes. And it will change.
So, Jim, we did get some news about big tech this morning. The Federal Trade Commission does want companies such as Facebook, Amazon, et cetera, to explain both how they collect and use personal data. And this is something that we've seen many people want, from journalists to politicians. So could this ruling actually, this order from the FCC, actually help Wall Street and the US better understand where our data goes?
Well, I think that these are all things that the media wants. I think that people should recognize that if you're on social media, you basically have no rights. There's no right to privacy in the Constitution. And these people want to try to make it so that there is some privacy to what you do. And forget it, you're posting and it's your own risk. I mean, I don't think any of this matters. What does matter is that people forgot already about the FTC and what's going on at Facebook. That's just the way it works. I mean, these things take forever. And in the interim, nothing happens. Good buying opportunity.
Jim, in your Mad Dash this morning, you mentioned Estee Lauder. And if investors are looking to take a little profit off of this stock, when is the right time?
Well, I think that what's happened with Estee Lauder is that they pulled away from the pack. They were not, everyone kind of just said, geez, cosmetics, no one's going to wear them because nobody goes out. And Fabrizio Freda, the unbelievable CEO, realized that you want to pivot from cosmetic to cleanser, to clean skin. And you want to do that pivot because of your mask and acne, masky. And what's happened is that he's got the best products in order to make it so that you don't have an outbreak. People love that. And he's done it all through online. People love that because you can't go into a mall and go to Macy's and have someone help you. That doesn't work. Ulta, by the way, has a terrific website too. And Ulta, Estee Lauder decided to go into Ulta. That's a big deal. And I think people should recognize Ulta's going into Target. That's a big deal. So you're going to see Estee Lauder everywhere, and that's okay because Estee Lauder is a premium brand and you'll pay for it.
So, Jim, Nikkei says that Apple is going to see a 30% boost in iPhone production in the first half of 2020. Now, these reports are not always accurate. So should investors take this with a grain of salt, or is it a reason to start looking to buy the stock?
Well, I've been saying that people should buy Apple this whole time because I think I have great faith in the 12. I've seen the 12. Man, it's good. And what I would say is that I tend not to like these reports. They don't know anything. They just don't. But I do think it should be a catalyst for people to remember that Biden's coming in. I think Biden can be tough on China, but will certainly not be done the way it is now. And that a principal reason why people didn't want to own Apple, which is the possibility that China could shut them down, will be off the table. And that's worth a lot. I also think that there are probably people in China who think, you know what, if I buy an Apple, maybe the government's looking at me. Well, those people won't be worried either. So there's a possibility that just have more demand just because the government's no longer making you feel like you're an outcast if you buy an Apple phone.
Now, before I ask you about Boeing, Jim, I do want to mention that I meant first half of 2021. I'm just personally very excited to get 2020 out of here, so I might have misspoken. Jim, now let's move on to Boeing. They have yet another issue with a plane, and it's not the 737 this time. It's actually the Boeing Dreamliner, and it reportedly has a manufacturing defect that hadn't initially been detected, which is now leading to expanded inspections of the plane. I mean, is this news suboptimal for this company, or can Boeing really shake this off?
I mean, Boeing's really under the micro. They have them in a laboratory microscope. And I think that this was just a small thing that they can fix. That plane's been flying forever, and there's been no real problem. But they want to fix that; they can fix it. I think the bigger thing is the recklessness. Well, let's say the ill-advised nature of the Morgan Stanley piece, saying that there's going to be a $20 to $30 billion equity raise. I mean, they made it sound like it's just that they know something it's going to happen. It was pure speculation, and I doubt that Boeing has to do that. They've got plenty of cash. What does matter is they need more orders. And I think we'll see more orders when we get the vaccine because there's a huge pent-up demand. And the plane companies the aerospace companies that can meet the demand that the airlines put in initially, but I think the airlines are really misjudging the amount of traffic that they're going to get when this pandemic ends.
All right, and with that, we are now heading over to our Action Alerts Plus members only show over on actionalertsplus.com. You're not going to want to miss this one. I'm Catherine Ross, and we'll see you tomorrow.